Hello, wonderful people. We are back to talk all things Wimbledon as we push forward for another daily dose of the Chris McPherson Show. We're heading into day 12 of Wimbledon, recapping day 11. The headlines: Amanda Anesimova knocking out world number one Arina Sabalenka, while Iga Swiatek advanced over Belinda Bencic. Great to see that both of the tips were right yesterday for a little bit of a change. Probably the first, I'll call it 100% day that we've had so far. So really happy with that, and congratulations to both Anesimova, the 13th seed, and Iga Swiatek, former world number one and number 8 seed, going through to the final, which will be on Saturday, our time, Aussie, in the evening. But we head into the men's semi-finals today. It's going to be a big day. Before we get into the men's semi-finals today, let's talk Aussie watch. And there's not a whole lot of Aussies in action today on day 12, but in terms of day 11, it was a pretty tough watch. Emerson Jones, our young prodigal star, bombed out of both the singles and the doubles, unfortunately. It wasn't to be her day, and unfortunately her Wimbledon dreams in the juniors will go unanswered after a stellar run last year. She will head home not making it through to the semi-finals of those. So, again, hats off to Emerson Jones for a great progression, but the number one seed does bow out and takes our Aussie hopes in the juniors with her. Of course, we will have Saressa Jackson and Novak Colombo still in action in the round robin of the under-14s. So they're names to watch out for. In positive news, Rinky Hijikata and his teammate David Pell got through to the final of the men's doubles with a 3-set tiebreak win. They went down in the first set 7-6, then came back 7-6, 7-6, winning the match tiebreak over the number one seeds, Matej Pavic and Marcelo Aravalo. So well done to Pell and Hijikata. They will now come up against the hometown favourites, the number 5 seeds, Julian Cash and Lloyd Glasspool, in the final, which will be tomorrow on centre court. So maybe Hijikata can make it a second Grand Slam doubles title to his name, and we're wishing him all the best. And we're talking action today, though, there is a small Aussie glimmer. We've got the women's doubles semi-finals, and we'll see Olivia Gadecki alongside Desiree Krawczyk, the American, and they'll take on the number 8 seeds in Veronika Kudermetova from Russia and number 8 and Elisa Mertens, the 8th seed, alongside her. That'll be at on court 1 today, so looking forward to seeing how that shapes up. That will get action underway on court 1, so it's going to be a good chance for her to pursue that. For Gadecki, they've gone through in straight sets in every match so far, including having knocked out the 12th and 16th seeds so far. So we'll see how they shape. When we look at Mertens and Kudermetova, as I said, they are the 8 seeds. They knocked out the 2nd seeds in the quarterfinals to absolute stars of women's doubles in Erin Routliffe and Gabriela Dabrowski. So certainly not one to be underestimated. They've been on a march as well. They did get a walkover in the round of 16 over Beatrice Haddad-Meyer and Laura Siegman, as Siegman looked to preserve herself for the singles. So we wish Olivia Gadecki all the best, tipping that we've got to go with the Aussie there, and we'll go with the Aussie to continue it, maybe in 3 sets this time as they march through into a doubles final. Fingers crossed that it certainly shapes that way, and they may actually come up against Siniakova there. Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend are the number 1 seeds in the other semi-final, and they come up against Yelena Ostapenko and Su Wei Sei, the 4th seed. So a huge clash in the other women's doubles semi-final, the winner of which will take on the winner of this one in the final. So we're looking forward to seeing how that all shapes over the coming days. But all the best to Olivia Gadecki. We move from Aussie Watch and we talk about the men's singles. We've got the men's singles semi-finals today, starting off with a huge clash between Taylor Fritz and Carlos Alcaraz. Now, Fritz has got there. He started with 2 tough 5-setters against big serving opponents. He took out Giovanni Mpessi Pericard in the first round. 3 tiebreak sets. He was down 6-7, 6-7, came back 6-4, 7-6, 6-4. He then knocked over Gabriel Diallo, the Canadian rising star, again in 5 sets, closing it with 6-3. In the 5th, he took on Davidovich Fokina in the 3rd round, got that done in 4 sets again, going to a tiebreak. That serve just carries him so well. A walkover in the 2nd set against Aussie Jordan Thompson in the round of 16 before he took on Karen Khachanov in the quarterfinal. And Khachanov made him work for it, took a bit of momentum away with that 3rd set win, but Fritz was able to wrap it up in the 4th set and close it out. Well, for Alcaraz, look, he's been pretty strong. He did have a tussle in the first round with Fabio Fognini, taking that to 5 sets, but he closed it out with a 6-1 in the fifth. He then knocked out the Brit Oliver Tave 1-4-4. Took on Jan Lennart Struff in the third round in 4 sets. Again against Andrei Rublev, dropped the first set in a tiebreak before closing out 3-4-4 to get the round of 16 done. And then swept Cameron Norrie off the court in a 2-3-3 domination in the quarterfinal. He certainly heads into this, you'd think, as the favourite up against Taylor Fritz. We know his shot-making, his athleticism for Carlos Alcaraz is certainly the momentum, but Taylor Fritz is undoubtedly going to go forward with a plan of just trying to get in front and lead from the front and go early here. He needs to stop Alcaraz and his momentum. We know that Alcaraz can be known for lapses, so Fritz will certainly be targeting that and looking at how he can take advantage of that. He's just got to make sure, I guess, if Taylor Fritz, his chance here is to make sure that he plays his game. He can't overplay it. He's quite a good strategist on the tennis court, but we have seen a want from Taylor Fritz to overthink previously, so he just needs to keep playing how he has been playing. He has played well to this point. Alcaraz is going to be very much a different beast, I guess, in terms of it. So we'll be waiting to see how that shapes up for Alcaraz. We know what he can deliver here. He is one of the form players of the tour. He's one of the best players in terms of just straight out ability. When you look at these two, and just when you look in general, and, I mean, they have only clashed twice previously, and again, Alcaraz has both of those wins, both on hard courts. One at the ATP Masters in Miami in 2023, one in 2024 at the Laver Cup, both in straight sets. But again, Alcaraz's form this year, 42 wins, 5 losses so far. He's only lost 61 matches on the tour in his career, which is quite a phenomenal piece. When you start to have a look at those numbers, that represents, just under 20% of the matches he's played. So 80% of the time he wins his matches. For Fritz, that sort of number is closer to about 60% of wins. So it's quite a dominant difference. Physically, Fritz, the much bigger and probably stronger man, but Alcaraz, mobile, has strong reach for his height. We know all of these pieces. So I'd love to find a narrative here that talks about Taylor Fritz taking it out, but I just think it's going to be Carlos Alcaraz. I think he's going to be far too strong when you have a look at it. As I said, he's got that 2-0 record. Fritz has done really well on the grass recently. It's not beyond him, but I just think Alcaraz will be too strong. If Alcaraz can come out of the gates well, he'll get this done in 4 sets and mark his way through to another final where he will take on the winner of Jannik Sinner and Novak Djokovic. So let's start with Novak, the former world number 1, the reigning leader of Grand Slam titles in the modern era. He started off against Frenchman Alexandre Muller and got through in 4 sets, and he's only hasn't been taken the distance yet by anyone. He knocked Dan Evans off in a convincing fashion in the second round, 3-2 and love. Similarly against Miomir Kekmanovic, 3-4 there as well. Again, closing out love set. Alex de Minaur got the jump on him. Djokovic certainly wasn't at his best as he took 4 sets to get past him, losing the first set 6-1 before winning the final sets 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. And then he came into the quarterfinal against Flavio Cobolli 2 days ago. And Cobolli, look, he challenged him here, but Novak's serve was on 70% first serve. He was winning 75% of his first serve points. And he doesn't lose matches when he started to put those numbers up. Cobolli did well. He took his break points when the opportunities came, but Novak was just too clinical and managed to win that in 4 sets. So now he faces up against the world number 1 and essentially the heir apparent at the moment in terms of Djokovic's legacy and record. Whether Sinner can ever get there is going to be a huge question. But Jannik Sinner, we saw, got through those first 3 rounds in record fashion. Then took on Grigor Dimitrov, and he was down 2 sets to love after an early fall. And there was concern about his elbow, just like, and we'll touch on Novak in a moment, his fall late in that win over Cobolli. But then Dimitrov tore his pec, it appeared, and had to retire in absolutely heartbreaking and crushing scenes, which meant that Sinner went through. There was question marks about how fit he would be, how his elbow would handle the power and pace of Ben Shelton. But Shelton completely stood up to the task, tried to bomb everything he could at him, bombed down 14 aces, served 80% winning on first serve. But Sinner was there. Sinner performed. Didn't really show too much with the elbow. It looked like it was good to go. He won that 6-4 and 4 to advance to another semi-final for him. For Novak Djokovic, it was phenomenal. I believe it was something like his 14th Wimbledon semi-final he's made, which is just absolutely huge. We know how much he loves the grass courts here. Sinner, his game really shapes up well on some different surfaces to what Djokovic might, but we know that Djokovic has won well on all surfaces. I think that the grass might actually be beneficial to Sinner taking on Djokovic here. I think it'll help him out, but again, Novak Djokovic's health is going to be a big question as to how that, how that plays and how that shapes, and it's going to be a big question as to who's the fitter of these two. And Novak's going to know that he probably doesn't have the game as he gets older to take on a 5-set match. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially if he's carrying any sort of injury. He did cancel his practice yesterday, which is a bit of an asterisk, but it's going to be interesting to see. It wasn't nasty fall; it was very awkward. And Djokovic was quoted as saying that obviously his body's not the same like it previously was, and he didn't think he'd really know the severity until early today, realistically, in terms of that injury and seeing how it is, and hopefully he'll be free of pain. So certainly going to be an interesting one. Sinner leads the head-to-head 5-4. There's not many people that can say in their career they lead their head-to-head with Novak Djokovic, that is for certain. This is going to be an interesting one in terms of how the two play it. Again, Djokovic, his record is just phenomenal. He's played nearly 1,400 matches on tour. He's got a phenomenal, approach to tennis, his longevity, his sustainability. But you look at Sinner, he's only lost 3 matches this year. He's only played 22, admittedly, because of that 3-month ban. But he's won 4 of their last 5 encounters. And that includes at the Australian Open in that semi-final. But admittedly, Djokovic wasn't 100% there. And yeah, as I was saying, I think it's interesting to see who can take control of these natural surfaces better between the two of them. They've played twice before here at Wimbledon. Novak's got the chocolates there in 2022 in the quarterfinal in 5 sets, 2023 in straight sets. And it's a hard one to pick. Sinner also beat Djokovic at Roland Garros, so he's beaten him, already in 2 Grand Slams in the last 18 months. So recency of form certainly leans to Sinner. Longevity of form, does it lead to Djokovic in terms of the grass? They have only played the twice on grass. It's a really hard one to pick. There's part of me that says it's logical that a fresher, younger Sinner should get it done. But I'm going to say if Djokovic is fit, I think he gets this done in 4 sets. I just think that he plays to his prowess on grass. He steps up, he drives the advantage home, but he's going to need to get it done in 3 or 4. He needs to take pointers, obviously, from what Dimitrov did, and we saw that Dimitrov managed to work Sinner around and managed to find some spots. So I'm going to go with Djokovic to get it done in 4. If Djokovic isn't healthy, though, Sinner should be able to blow him off the court and take it in straight sets if he's anywhere below sort of 95%. If he's not at 100%, he's going to struggle. But each little bit of percentage of that drops down for Novak Djokovic. The advantage falls to Sinner. But as much as I'd love to see another Sinner-Alcaraz final after that phenomenal French Open final, I am going that it's going to be Alcaraz versus Djokovic in the Wimbledon final. I was 2 from 2 last night, so I'm due for an 0 from 2 tonight. Let's see how we go. And until next time, enjoy your tennis, and we look forward to bringing you another Daily Dose tomorrow. And don't forget to check out our weekly episode that dropped last night as well, covering off on a broad sporting landscape, all the black and white in your sport, no grey opinions. We'll talk to you soon.